that people can use while sitting and having coffee. Go figure. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to do this kind of thing, but with a round shape. I think that's going to give something a little bit more visual interest, and it's going to be a little bit more complex as well. So I'm going to do that, and then I can do the squiggle type one with a flat top, because I'm sure some of you boys are wondering about that as well. So I mark my center. Okay, I know that I want to do a curve. What I'm wanting to suss out is that line there is telling me where the curve's going to be starting and stopping. So what I mean by that is, if I go like this, okay, I can see where that curve starts and stops. So if I get that same proportion and then obviously make it a little bit thinner because it's further down, I can go right there. Okay, if you guys have had some practice at doing circles in perspective, you'll know that if I do this, okay, you're looking about 2/3 of the way. 2/3 of the way, 3/4. Those proportions when it's broken up. So here, okay, that one probably hasn't quite gone. Far enough. That's going to help make sure your actual rounded circles, if you want them to be even rather than just a curve, keep them the same. So what we're going to do, obviously, is make it see-through again. Same process. I'm going to angle this right down so that's coming in. Up. Right, and then we're going to do that line there. So right, that's center. So now what I'm only going to do is just curve this side, because this side here we're not going to see. It's going to be covered up by the table. Right. And I'll start to do a little bit on this side, because as we angle it down, so there's the top. What I might do is actually leave the bottom open a bit. So I'll just firm in a few things just to help make it a little bit clearer what you're seeing. Okay, we can see that. We see it's shrinking down. Okay, pretty tall for a coffee table. We're going to say it's a shorter, taller one, so it's not going to be so long in terms of proportion. So that way, if we compare it to like this one here, all we're going to say is it's probably only about this long from there to there. Okay, it's a short coffee table. Maybe it's more of an end table. Right, that might be something I'd change in my design. I might look and redo this and then make it longer just to make the proportions look accurate. So what I want to do is I want to put a, I'll put an arch in. Okay, so I'll go that center because I want to know where my arch is supposed to line up to, and I'll just take it down a bit because obviously we need some thickness for strength. If I take that line directly up and that line directly up, now I know where I'm trying to aim my curve. Okay, so there is a curve. It's just got a little bit thick there and a little bit dark, so I need to just rub and tidy that up. Right, then I can see obviously there's the rest of the curve on the inside, so I need to finish part of that up, otherwise, because we can see through into that now. So now if I'm going to go rub some details out, okay, and because the construction's been used to help keep things accurate and make sure that they line up, you're looking at this and going, wow, that makes sense. Well, that looks really tidy. How does he do that? You just saw how I did that. So it looks quite good now. Obviously, it needs a bit of tidy up in that. But by the time it's done, you haven't really seen me do anything that's crazy hard. Okay, I wasn't doing any backflips or anything while doing this. Okay, there was nothing where I just kind of sketched it and it magically appeared. And it was just 100% my skill, and I'm asking you guys to do something unreasonable. You saw it come together step by step. So, as much as you want to say, oh, that's so hard, I can't do that, can you really tell me what about it was so hard? Okay, maybe some of my line work's tidy. But, besides that, that's practice. Okay, but generally, I haven't actually done anything that's really hard. I've just done each detail accurately and tidy in perspective, and as all the details have come together, it's made something look quite convincing and look quite good. Right, last one, we'll do that curved top that some of you boys probably wondering about. Okay, and it's more of a freer shape, so you're wondering how I'm going to keep it into perspective and still make it look free. Right, so I'm going to keep the perspective a little bit lower. Oops. See, even I make mistakes. Okay, that's looking more about where I want it to look. So as we work with this, we're going to make this curve shape. Easiest way to do it is just simply do the curve. Okay, I don't need to do much construction or anything, so I might say I want to look like that. Okay, if I don't like that curve, fine, I'll roll it out. I'll start again. What I'm trying to do is view this box here as a as a 2D box off the side. So I'm just looking at it front on, and then I'm choosing what shape I want to put into it, whatever that shape might be. Okay? This curl around over here will be a little bit odd and hard to do, depending how you want to do it, but we'll just keep it a little bit more simple, and we'll just say we want to do that. Okay? Right, that's what we want to reproduce and make that as to a curve that goes the whole way down. Now it sounds like it's going to be quite hard. You'll be surprised at how hard it's not. So just zoom in a little bit just so you can see the magic happen, if you will. Right, that's the contact point. That's contact point there where it hits the top edge. So if I take that across in perspective, that's it there. Take that across in the 2-point perspective. That's it there, maybe slightly further down. Okay, there. I also look here, take that across, that's what it is there. So all I know is that this shape here, I just need to copy paste it essentially and reproduce it there. Okay, who knew you could be a computer? So because I marked out those 2 points, I knew where my starting points are, and all I could look was kind of how that curve went. So I knew it kind of went up and then curved a little bit more last minute. So then, because it's the top edge, we take that across. Okay? Joins up. Simple as that. So now this is seeming like it's going to be a bit hard. What we're going to do is we're going to join up that top edge there straight away. Now, that's roughly halfway, very slightly above halfway. So if I take this line across in perspective, come down, okay, and then find out whether that's kind of where halfway is going to be. So I've just made the see-through for a part just to keep the construction correct. That's where halfway is going to be. So what I know is it's going to actually dip down, follow this whole line, from there up, it's where it's going to come. Okay, similar curve. Okay, if you're copying it like that, you're going to get it reasonably accurate. It doesn't have to be 100%, but as long as it looks pretty similar to it, you can see now that looks like that shape. Okay, looks a bit chunky and a bit odd as a coffee table, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of the volume out, but not evenly, just to give it a bit more dynamic. Okay, rather than just kind of following this shape tidily and just keeping it all the same width all the way around. You can if you wish, but I've chosen not to. Okay, so obviously this line here needs to come back in perspective. Now, see here that I've gone this line through here, I can tell that I'm not going to see the end of this, so I don't need to draw that curve up there for the other side. Right, that there is the table. Okay, I need to obviously tidy up some of the line work. It's a bit rough and a bit thick in places, so just try and be a bit wary of that, try and keep things tidy. We're trying to take care with our line work. What you boys should always be trying to do is every time you do a new sketch is try and do it better than the previous one. That's not necessarily in terms of design, but in terms of quality of sketch and how well you've gone about sketching it. So what's making it harder for me to sketch this tidy is that I'm not spinning the page to make the angles easier for me to draw. Okay, there you can see that works quite well with my arch in my hand, my natural arc I have built into my hand, but for this one here, not so much. So what I need to really do, okay, and I know this is kind of, probably looks a bit weird on the screen, but do that, just to make life easier for myself. Right, there we've got our table. These lines down here are a bit dark and thick, so I just light them up slightly with rubber. Right, so I'm going to put the glass top on it, simple as going like that. Okay, it's a glass top, not a paper top, so it needs a little bit of thickness. So, you do this. Okay, I've gone up, and so you're going to see it, it was all see-through, but guess what, it's glass, so glass is see-through. Okay, I know this is where you guys are super tempted to try and use a ruler. Try not to if you can help it. If you have to for something like this, I might permit it. But keep in mind, if you're going to do that next year in NCA Level 1, that sketch cannot get assessed, okay? It's not freehand. So the whole thing has to be freehand if you're going to get assessed on that standard. So this is why the practice is now. Okay, you make your mistakes now. In year 10, you know, have a few awkward drawings. My pencil's too blunt, that's what's not helping me. And learn now, rather than having to try and learn all the hard yards while you're worried about getting your credits. Right, so there you go. So with explanations in a little under half an hour, 28 minutes, I've got 4 concept sketches down. So realistically, I would expect you boys to be able